How do I look for Abba? How do I look for Abba? Is my hair comb or my teeth brushed? Do I look alright? I am a shining star. Hey.
Hi guys.
Hey, we here.
Here, back at it again with another episode. Zappin'.
Episode 8, I think we are on.
No, episode 9.
Oh, episode 9,
Episode
Chase.
9.
Look at us.
Hey.
Sticking to it, right?
Yeah.
So today, we are honored to be here. We're honored to share another portion of us. Prayerfully, it's going to tap into you and allow you to open up and expand more of yourself. We are the episode of...
So this episode is going to be about...
First of all, the time is now.
The time is now, right? Ooh.
Right, it's always now. That's who we are.
Barukama
and Batia.
Oh, yeah. Bring it back in. And so this episode today is going to be about shame. Shame.
Do I speak my shame? Do I share my shame? Do I know my shame? Am I able to admit that I am ashamed of my family, myself, my community, my experiences, my race, my gender, clothes?
Yeah, my clothes, my interactions, the way I think.
My perceived lack of, my fears. What am I ashamed of? Most importantly, my body.
My body.
My image. My hair.
The perception other people have of me. Ooh.
Interesting. What are you ashamed of? So,
Tap in if you can.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start off with a question. Questions. So you feel free.
The choice is yours, my love.
Don't we both pull a card?
I'll take one from here and you take one from there.
Okay. Okay, so I'll ask you. What is the most sentimental gift you have ever received?
Yo.
Yeah.
That's kind of big.
Yeah.
The most sentimental gift I've ever received. I want to go really, really deep on this and just say life.
Oh.
Like being present, being allowed to be birthed.
Yeah, wow.
Not being aborted.
And that's a sentimental gift, man.
Girl.
The gift of life.
If y'all want to get something a little more tangible, no, it's nothing better than that. That's totally sentimental.
You want that? The sentimental. Woo. Okay, then.
Like material. Nah, I'm going to leave it at life.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it there. What would you do in life if money was not an issue?
If money was not an issue, I would be everywhere on earth. I would be everywhere. Every day I would get up and take me a trip somewhere. I would just travel everywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm getting there. Little by little, step by step.
So ask yourself, if money wasn't an issue, where would you be in life?
Yeah.
And what is the most sentimental gift you received? I'm intentionally switching it.
You're switching it, okay.
Yes.
So the most sentimental gift I have ever received. You took life off the table, man. How can it get more? No, okay. The most sentimental gift that I've ever received. Man. Now, because you tapped into some other life force stuff. Probably the most sentimental gift I've ever received was Muli.
Oh, wow.
my little brother. I don't know if I knew what to ask for it, but that was, man. I'm saying a gift of life, but beyond even my own life. But that's just because you tapped into that angle. So what would you do in life if money wasn't an issue?
Wow. I switched the cards because this is a question I answer all the time. I would be exactly who I am now.
Oh.
And the only difference is that I would sit outside and offer my gifts to anybody who came by. They would be welcome to have sessions with me just because they showed up.
Yeah.
You know, it's a saying that energy goes, energy flows where money goes. I know that sounds crazy, but people pay attention to what they pay for.
Yeah.
So it's a saying that if you pay, then you pay attention.
Yeah.
But I found in my life some of the most wonderful, incredible teachers and healers and guides have been people who gifted their services to
Yeah.
me, and it made a difference. And I didn't have the money at the time to pay them or to give them, and they gave it so freely because I was so open to receive it.
Yeah.
So it's a little tricky because they say things that you don't pay for, you don't really fully receive them. And I always say you can pay in many forms.
Yeah.
So
You can pay in many forms.
many
That
forms.
is true.
So I would give everything. I would
Yeah.
give everything to the capacity of the person's ability to receive it. Because
Yeah.
maybe I'm giving 100% to somebody who's been waiting and praying and waiting around for this forever, and they can receive the 100%. And maybe I can only give 5% to the next person because that's the capacity
See
that they're able to receive it.
Yeah. That's real.
Yeah. On that note, whatever capacity you're able to receive us, we welcome it, and we
Yeah.
ask you to receive yourself on whatever capacity you can receive yourself.
All right.
All right? So let's
Let's
dive in.
dive into the conversation.
So we thought to bring shame today because we was having a little conversation about the role that shame has played in our lives
Yeah.
and the impact it has made. For instance, I was ashamed that I couldn't read, and I wanted to be like everybody else. I have an innate understanding or understanding with myself that everybody wants to be a part of whatever the party is.
Yeah.
So to not be able to read, I was left out on a capacity that was kind of high. So I hid it. And the things that we're ashamed of, we don't expose them to the world because whatever that world is, because the world is the world of your understanding. The world can be your family, it could be your friends, it could be your community. And
Yeah.
how often do we have to hide?
Yeah.
So shame is always hidden somewhere. It's avert. It's
Yeah.
secret.
It is.
You know?
It's secret. That's what it is. That's how it functions in the dark. Shame brought to life, you get to see all the nooks and crannies of it. You get to see that it might be something different.
It might be just an experience.
Exactly.
It might just be something that I am thriving for, something I want to learn, or something I can
Yeah.
invest more time in. But is it really at its core shame? And who identifies it as shame?
Exactly.
Is it something that's missing inside of you that you feel that you don't have? So now you're ashamed of it.
Yeah. I think like how you said about reading, something that for me, and this is something I'm really recognizing and just seeing really the last season of my life, but I think, and this is like counter to what people would think or whatever, but I think I have been like in a lot of situations or seasons of life, I have been like, I've had shame about literally the way my mind works, the way I think. Like, you know how sometimes, and only if you know, maybe, I don't know. You know how sometimes you can be talking to somebody and I'm looking at you and you don't know you don't know what I'm talking about. You are not on my thread of thought at all. And it's like that confusion, that flash in people's eyes, or like just, I don't know. It just has always been like such a pull back moment for me. Like, cool, pull back.
You're ashamed of the confusion you see in their eyes, that they didn't understand you? What's the shame?
Yeah, the shame, I guess, is around not being understood. And that being reflected and mirrored is like, oh my God. Because you can think like, oh, they won't understand. But it's like when you start talking to people when they don't understand, it's like, oh, or they understand something completely different than what I'm saying or like what my intention is. It just always left me like, I would rather just be quiet.
That's interesting. You know why? Because really when I think about it, what you just said is they didn't understand me. But in your mind, it's something I should be ashamed of.
Yeah.
What will happen if we actually just allow room for clarity? Like, what didn't you understand? Or I see your eyes look puzzled.
Yeah.
Did you get me? What part did I lose you
Yeah.
on? Because we have this.
I think another thing is like it's the element of not being understood, but it's also the element of like my interests not being mirrored to me. Like, not, at least not at the depth that I, like, you know how, like, you're interested in something, so I want to talk about it because I'm interested in it. I'm not really trying to explain it to you. It's not a conversation of, like, explanation. I want to see where you got lost. I'm talking about it because I'm interested in it. And it's like, when that interest is not mutual and I can see it flash, it's just like, I don't even want to do it no more. Bye. I just stopped talking in the middle.
So is that, it feel like you're running away from something. Does shame make you run away? Does, when you meet the shame, you see it in somebody's eyes, they're confused. Does it make you want to hide? Does it make you small? What does it do to you?
Let's say now, since I've like processed it even with myself more openly, because it was something I don't think that I even wanted to touch in my own mind. Like, I've been going through this whole season processing a lot of like formative experiences and just processing a lot of life. And it's like, that was something that I got to after many, many, many layers. Like, it was like I had to go through this. I peeled back a lot of layers and I could sit with that. I don't think it was something I was even comfortable sitting with. But like, let's say now I can be more vocal and I can be like more like, okay, well, like I'll explain more, or I'll find that interest in other ways. But I think like in other seasons of life, it would definitely just make me like shut down. I'm just like, oh, this is not even worth it.
Oh, I just had this like experience travel through my mind about how often are we ashamed of ourselves, because it's a lived experience.
Yeah.
So a travel from within. Usually shame doesn't come because somebody did it to me, even though it's a trigger, and when they do it to me, I respond in that way.
Yeah.
But
shame is like, well, like most emotions or like most feelings, I would say, but like it's just mirrored. That's what it is. It's mirrored. And it's like, oh, if that seed is already present.
have you ever been ashamed of me as your mother?
Yeah.
Oh, what does that feel or look like?
It was probably like, I don't know if ashamed, because that's what we're talking about. Like, let's say maybe in older days, like I guess that's so interesting, because it's just like a connection that I had in my mind. It's just like, why are you just overly talking to people? Like, stop just talking to people. Like, everywhere we go, you feel the need to talk to people, and it's just like, oh my God, like it would just feel like, what is going on? Or like, let's say like when you started doing, like when you started walking like this. I'm like, what is she doing? Like, oh my
Walking
God.
like what?
Like Looney Tunes, I don't know. No, now it's like,
Wait, walking like
now.
what?
Like we would be walking to school, right? And then you would just spread your arms open and walk down. We started walking down the street, and nobody's around. Like, it's not like nobody's seeing it, but I'm just like, what is possessing you to do this right now? Like, it just was so like foreign to my mind. So it was just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Receiving it all and giving it all and being present for it all. I probably was so happy.
And I was probably so not. And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't think it's nothing to be this happy about.
Was it the possibility that somebody could actually walk past and see me and think that I was strange, or was it just strange inside of you?
No, it is like the possibility that somebody would walk past and see. Mm-hmm. I think more so of that perceived, but it's also like, it's shame, but it's also like, on top of that shame, where like you don't see it, is like a level of maybe protectiveness.
That's interesting.
Of like, I don't want anybody to judge.
So I judge. I hold that space because I don't want nobody else to
do it. I don't want nobody else to do it. So, but that's crazy. But like underneath that is it would have to be a shame of that. I think that it's something that's not, or
not something that's not acceptable.
That's not acceptable.
That's interesting, because where my mind just traveled, it was walking into you when you're not dressed in kingdom clothes.
Yeah.
And the protectiveness, it wasn't even walking into you. Even in the house, it was a struggle for me. Like, but it wasn't mine.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I couldn't look at you and say, oh, that looks so beautiful on you. Because the
Yeah.
first thing I could see was, why do you have your legs out?
Yeah.
Why do your stomach need to be showing? And why do I need to shame you for things that make you happy for what you wear? Like, but the shame wasn't really mine. It was the shame or the need to protect you from what they may say or think or
Yeah.
feel about you when they never even knew you.
Yeah.
And do we know each other through what they wear,
Yeah.
the makeup they wear, how they treat their hair, or do we know a person and we label them according to the stereotype of, if she dyes her hair, she must be.
Yeah.
If she speaks this way, she must be. And that's all the external things that shame bring, because internally, I know you.
Yeah.
I know you intimately. I know you're a wonderful person. If you decide to dye your hair, you just decide to dye your hair, and it doesn't have so much impact and heaviness towards it. But the need to protect you on what they might think is always so incredible, because I have seen people look you up and down, not you particularly, but look people up and down and size them by what's external.
Yeah.
And
And,
that's
it's purely an external, like it's a snapshot.
right. It's just a snapshot.
And I think, like, obviously we come from the same world, so it would be that same, like, I don't know, that's a thread of the same feeling that I would feel, because I don't know if I would really mind if a random stranger saw you doing that. Like,
Right.
how relevant is that?
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So where in your life have you been ashamed or protective? Because underneath shame is a whole lot of things that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the emotion of shame. So if you actually pulled it back, then you got into protectiveness. Why do I need to protect? What harm could come to you?
Yeah, and I think when you go into the idea about attack and fear, it really does resonate, because under that protectiveness is a fear that you will be judged, maybe by proxy that I will be judged.
You'll be misunderstood.
Yeah.
You'll be treated in a way that I wouldn't want you to be treated.
Yeah.
And because of that, I need to judge you first, because the collective judgment maybe that I'm feeling, or the collective shame that I'm feeling, I need to hold space for that. And if I hold space for that and I make you feel small enough, then maybe it'll make you change.
Yeah. Wow.
And it'll attack you, or something inside of you to say, please go change that, so that other people won't attack you. But I'm holding the
Wow.
space of that attack.
And I think about that now, like, as you just said that, I think about even personally how much I have changed myself, not necessarily in the ways that people would assume of change, in terms of like change yourself and you doing something big and drastic, but changing myself in a way of like really shrinking.
Wow.
So it's like, even in that own understanding with myself, if I was used to doing that, and that was my understanding of that's what you have to do to survive, that's what you have to do to get by, you don't even need all that attention on you. So it's like that I would project that onto you.
I'm just thinking of like my new gig. I always have a gig. So my new gig is volunteering at a school with second graders, and to see the level or the multitude of shame that they're experiencing at such a young age. And if I can do something today to assist them to release that need to feel the shame or hold the space, I think that's really just so beautiful, that my human need to hold this space. And it's a huge space. But why am I holding this space?
Yeah.
Why, if you talk about my mother, I become so reactive and so angry, because I need to hold the space to protect my mother. But I'm just a small child.
Yeah.
How much space can I really hold? How angry can I really be? And why do I need to keep this silently tucked inside of me?
Yeah.
That it comes out.
And these outbursts.
And
Wow.
what's underneath those outbursts? And,
Interesting. And I think because when you get into the, like, let's say when I first even like really started learning about the concept of shame, and internal shame, they always do these two things. And so guilt says I did something bad, and it separates the action maybe from the personhood and from your own perception of yourself, and shame is I am bad, right? So it's like
It takes the action out of it and it put it towards me inside of me.
And it's this whole internal. I think that shame comes from feelings of unworthiness.
And they inherit.
And yeah, there's like this inherent, like deep-seated feeling of unworthiness that you showing up as yourself is somehow not enough. And so then you have all these internal mechanisms going to ensure that you feel safe, I guess.
I always like to say shame sits under what you don't want nobody to know, what you hide.
Yeah.
And one of the tools that I use is the spiral. So the spiral, it can begin with the inside where you actually color in the first part of the circle of the spiral, and you color it in, and you just color it in. And this one is actually created where you keep spiraling from that internal all the way out, right?
Yeah.
And then the next part of the spiral start from the outside where you build it and you go within.
Yeah.
And you keep going in, keep going in, keep going in, and it like tuck itself in that spiral. So one spiral is the secrets that I carry and I hold that can't be exposed to anyone. And those are the safe things that I keep closest to my heart, to my own chest. No one really knows what's inside of each one of us when I bump into you. And this spiral with the black dot or the black circle inside of it colored in is the spiral of my secrets, right? And it's the spiral where I hide. And so shame is going to sit inside of there. And it's in how I teach it to the second graders are. This one makes me feel very small.
Yeah, I was just about to say that has like an energy of shrinking,
going small. In, holding you. And this one makes me feel very big. It exposed me. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like I can share more of this.
Yeah.
This one makes me feel like the one with the dot makes me feel I can't share anymore.
Yeah.
So when do you come to a point that you can't share anymore? It's a whole system that I offer in my coaching process, which it actually allow you to release and let go of what's inside of you.
Yeah.
Because really all of these strong egoic, fearful emotions, they live inside of you, but they live inside of you because you had some type of experience.
Yeah.
So like we go into our own journey. When I didn't know how to read, I felt very small. So I would shy away from certain things. I wouldn't allow myself to be present. If somebody gave me a script and they said they wanted me to read and it was on the spot, oh my God, what it would do to my whole insides. And I would have this panic attack. But then it's something called a shame attack.
Yeah.
So people focus a lot on a panic attack and on a rage attack and on a depressive attack. Have you ever heard of a shame attack?
Wow. I think that's something that's so like when you say it like that and I think about it, I think it's something that's so relevant to my own personal life, and just like let's say like patterns of having emotional explosions and then and then shutdowns, and then like certain areas where it's like you even say something to me about that, you even have an implication, oh please, it's over, it's done with, there's no further communication. But that's because the conversation is not even being had with myself. So it's like you are seeing it from the outside, and maybe I would say even from here, I'm just going on your thing. But
well, you know, the spiral,
here,
the same spiral that I use it for so many other things.
I think about somebody, right? Because the secret that you would have is so neatly tucked here. Right. But somebody could hit this point, right? It's this point on the outside. You told me something that was irrelevant. You told me something that for you was a meaningless airdrop of a conversation. But for me, immediately, as soon as you said that, I could have been way out here. It could have been way out here. Automatically.
The ricochet.
It shakes that like super sensitive internal point. And it's like, the point that you're hitting is never what you said. It's never the interaction that was had. It just is like a ricocheted effect that is sending something, and the message that it's holding, and it's the inability to express it, I think, is because it's something that's held so tightly, so neatly, into myself. And like I think about it when it comes to certain areas and aspects, it was experiences that I think were very connected very early on in my childhood to the foundation of my entire sense of self. So and that coincides with, like, if we saying shame is I am bad, it coincides with that. I just thought about that because it's like you making a statement or we having an action, and what is a discussion or something for you, or just like for me, it could just be a random thing that I said. I don't even remember I said it. It was this, but for somebody else or like me being on the other side of that is something that can shake your whole sense of self or remind you, right? Because it's just a reminder that sense of self is shaky in the first place.
So what does a shame attack look like? A shame attack is going to look like me not being able to read, right? And instead of me not being able to read, I literally attack myself. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, on my circle of love chart, that's another process. Instead of you having external violence that somebody is punching you or kicking you or hitting you, you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
So you basically going within yourself and you're punching yourself. I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I ain't gonna never get it, I'm incapable. And it's like no one hears this.
Nobody.
No one even sees it. You can be walking down the street with a smile on your face having a shame attack, where you are literally telling yourself, I am zero, I am worthless. But even zero is something.
Yeah.
It's you are breathing.
Yeah.
So how much can I internally abuse myself and it doesn't have an impact or an effect on me?
Yeah.
And then shame attacks because the pain is so deep that I'm holding the space that's black within me.
Yeah.
Like, and the blackness just mean like it's just held in this secret compartment that's so tightly woven that you can't even, if you went and got a colonic, the crap ain't gonna be moved. The water's just gonna go around it. Like for if you really want to go, and maybe you don't do colonics, but maybe you were at a lake, and everything is so condensed, the water's backing up. It's going this way instead of being able to flow.
Yeah.
But you're holding that in place.
Yeah.
And whatever you tell yourself, and honest to God,
so
you create it. So you keep recreating it, but you creating it from a place of unawareness.
Yeah.
You're not doing that because you're trying to hurt yourself. Again, you're doing it because you're trying to protect yourself. What people tell me, I'm motivated. When I talk to myself like that, it motivates me to get going. No, sir, no, ma'am. It actually creates more of what you don't want, but you don't know any other tools. So you've used that tool, and up until now, you said that tool gifted me with 1, 2, 3. What will happen if you remove that tool and put another tool in there when you talk kindly to yourself, where you actually was able to say, oh my God, that just hit me. That just hit my shame button. What am I really ashamed of?
Yeah.
What did I really just experience? It's just always an experience, no matter what it is. Even if you was publicly humiliated and it created a level of shame of public interaction where, oh my God, I stood up in
public
a meeting.
Humiliation is a whole
I stood up in a meeting when Shagria asked a question, and the only person who raised his hand was his son, Ben, and I wanted, for the life of me, I can't understand what made me do it, but I raised my hand because I was on the council, and why don't I know it? But I did not know what David's 2 sins were.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just, he's, of course, who is he going to choose? He's going to choose the next person who raised their hand besides his son. It's only me in the whole room.
Yeah.
Why did I raise my hand? Whose space was I holding?
Yeah.
What did I think I needed to represent? And I didn't have the answer. And I stood up, and it's a room full of people. Where did I go?
Yeah.
Did I melt? Did I shrink? Did that stay with me? It just showed up now. And I just remember standing there thinking to myself, blank.
Yeah.
Do you know it? To get to, no, I don't. Like, why?
Yeah.
I always ask myself why. But because the gift that I received from that moment was so incredible.
Yeah.
I was staying with Abu Gabriel and Imatakia, and after the forum, it was a Shabbat, so we came home. And as soon as we got home, Imatakia said, come. She pulled out the Bible. She sat with me. She said, I'm going to teach you. Because, of course, he didn't tell us what the two sins were. She taught me the two sins. And it was so compassionate that everywhere I go, I want to share that feeling that she gave me.
Yeah.
Like, I was embarrassed. I was publicly humiliated, but I did it to myself.
So you placed yourself
I placed
in
myself in this position. But why, one, did I need to place myself in this position?
Yeah.
Two, when I was placed there, I sat back down. Obviously, for the rest of the event, I probably was melted and wasn't even in the room.
Yeah.
Didn't follow nothing else, didn't hear nothing else, because I was busy in my mind with, oh my God, what did I just do to me?
Yeah.
Only to, at the end of the day, learn what David's two greatest sins were, and with so much love from a mother figure who, it wasn't that I went home and at home I felt this shame. I went home and I was met with compassion and love and
lovely.
teaching.
That's beautiful.
And I would never forget that. I love that about Imataki, and I love that about staying at Abu Gabriel's house in the house of love, because it was so many moments that I was granted grace and gentleness and compassion. And I never want Imataki to ever feel nothing from me but that, but I want to carry what she gave me into everything that I do.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you carry the non-shameful events that you received to help somebody else unpack something shameful that they experienced? Even if you cause it on yourself, even if you don't know why. And do you know what David's two greatest sins are? I want to know, do you know? So that you would never be in this position again. I'm going to just tell them to you. One, he slept with Bathsheba. She was a married woman. He sent her husband to the front line and got killed. Yeah. And two,
the Bible had some messy stories.
Oh, I
messy
love
boots,
it.
Messy
It's real life, right?
Real life.
And his greatest sin was that he counted Israel. And in the Bible, say that Israel is numbered by the stars in the sky and the sand in the sea.
Yeah.
So you can never count Israel, and it was a sin because when he asked for the census, he gave an actual count.
Yeah.
So those was David's two greatest sins. And
in case y'all wanted to know,
don't ever be ashamed about that. And if you don't know something, even if you raise your hand, just stand up and say, I just feel like I need to save grace for everybody else, and I thought somebody else's hand was going to come up, or something else. Like, make it light in a moment.
Yeah.
Because somebody in the room is always going to be gentle and kind to you and share with you. And don't internalize the shame, because that experience, actually, I can bring it up as a shameful experience that I brought on myself, but I can also show you that there was compassion and gentleness and grace right there alongside with it.
That is beautiful. And I think in all honesty, right, that's a really good example, because the antithesis to shame would be compassion. The antithesis to shame would be grace, and it would be acceptance and allowance. Gentleness and care. And sometimes, and I think that when you talk about these shame spirals and attacks and stuff, I'm not going to say the only reason, but I think a primary reason is because we don't know how to hold ourselves gently. We don't know how to hold ourselves with grace and with kindness and with compassion. Maybe because it was never modeled for us. Maybe because when those core wounds happen to us, most likely in childhood, not always, but it's like most likely in childhood, and that is not, and you're left to deal with a feeling and an emotion, and it's not met with that compassion, and it's not met with that grace.
And you have a limited amount of skill set that you actually have to process it. So a lot of things that felt like shame when you were 4 and 5 and 6, you didn't have the skill set that you have now to even process it or work through it. So be gentle with yourself as you're going through memories of shameful moments. And remember, I am no longer 13 having that experience. I'm now 52. And at 52, I see it totally different. I was 13. I had to be either between, no, I wasn't 13. Maybe I was between 14 and 15 because I was on the council for a while.
That's a more interesting, because I'm like, I don't know, I couldn't imagine you were grown.
Oh, no. Come on now.
That's what I'm like.
As an adult, I had more understanding of not doing that.
And that's so like classic, like 14, 15. Ain't nobody gonna raise their hand.
Let me Miss Know It All. Miss gonna have to have the answer. And I don't know what I thought I was gonna say. I knew. Oh boy. Anyway.
Like, you said what? Look.
Anyway, thank you, Prince Asiel, for even having me have the opportunity to learn that, because that experience, I wouldn't have learned that. And I love learning and challenging the space that I was in, that I didn't know things.
Yeah.
To see what else is possible for me to comprehend, to understand, to ingest, to understand. Like, it's just so big in my world that it's so much to learn, and the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know a darn thing, and recognizing that and being
open to learning new.
Yeah, all day, every day. I'm completely inspired by everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm empowered by everything.
Girl, me too. I was just walking around the world. I'm like, everything be so beautiful to me. I look at a moment, I'm like, wow. I'm like, whoa, that's just a testimony.
And it might seem fake to y'all.
Human spirit.
It might feel fake, right? The way we said it, but it really is it's a beautiful experience. Like, this week I had an experience where somebody contacted me, and I realized I should have been silent.
Yeah.
And I kept texting back, and then when I recognized it, I was like, thank you for the golden rule. Thank you for reminding me that I had a lot of huge moments today.
Yeah. That
being silent would have been a better place for me to be in today, taking care of what needed to be taken care of to make sure somebody reached safetyness, but not all the extra drama and trauma that was around that it was unnecessary. I didn't have to say nothing. I don't conduct how you conduct your household. I don't conduct how you see the world. I just conduct how I see it. So for me to be able to double up within the same 6 hours span and acknowledge, wait a minute now.
What's
going on with me? What have I created? That's to be inspired, or I'm just present for all the present moments.
Yeah.
And allowing the grace of that present moment to be gone. And now I'm in this moment where I sit in inner peace, where I allow myself so much compassion and grace, which means when I offer it to me, when I send you a reply back, I'm actually offering it to both of us.
Yeah. I thought about that because I thought about a moment that I had not a couple weeks ago too, or like maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And I was talking to my mom, and she said something to me. And it wasn't about what she said. It was just like something that threw me. Like, it just threw me. It was a Shabbat. It just threw me. I'm just thrown. Like, I haven't usually, like, I haven't felt myself be thrown genuinely in a long time because the way that I'm processing things on hand. But that one hit it like a nerve. I'm like, man. So I went in my room. I was just overly like, I was going to say I was on my period. I definitely wasn't. But I was just overly like, oh man, it had me for a good, like, I want to say for real. I want to say for real for a good 5 minutes. Like, for real, where I was like, it just got so serious out of nowhere. I was just like, oh man. It just got so overly serious. And then I'm like, you are so tripping right now. Like, you are so tripping. But then it's the next 15 that I need to really calm down. I need to stay there. I need to calm down. Then I got up. I'm like, let me get dressed. Let me go on a walk. Let me do something with this energy that I feel. And it's just that I love that. Honestly, that's one of the things that I love the most, because something that it does for me too is like it builds my internal confidence of knowing that even if, something does come and it does affect me and it does hit a nerve and it does trigger me, that I'm still able to bounce back and pull myself back, no matter how long it takes, no matter how long. That was just a quick situation, but it was like, I don't know, it's something very comforting in that knowing, and that's something that I would like wish that everybody could have, just that ability to hold yourself with compassion and grace, not because real life won't put you in situations where maybe that's not your automatic first response, but because you have tools in your hand to know how to do something different. If you slow down and you think about it and you're able to slow down. But I think that a lot of the escalation happens in this spiral is that it spirals really fast. So you don't even have that time to think about like what's going on. You having one thought, one experience, suddenly, man, this is
Life
crazy on the
has
shame. But like I'm
you.
now I could be like, I'm gonna be real honest. It's like something could happen. It could be so simple. The way it just sent me, I'm in my mind. I'm like, yeah, you need to, yeah,
You need to what? What that mean?
go bye.
What that mean?
Off yourself.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying like intense. Like some. Ooh, man.
Ooh, that's a whole nother
man,
story. It gets so
spooky.
heavy so fast.
It gets so heavy so fast. It gets so serious so fast.
Let me tell you.
Like, oh my God, can you breathe, girl?
One of the ways you can recognize it is if you take a baseball, hold the baseball. That's what shame feel like. I'm holding it. It's so tight. The grip is so huge. The ball is bigger than my hand, but I'm still trying to hold it and grab it and just hold on to it. And then what compassion or gentleness feel like is going to be a baby ball that you throw, and it's so soft it doesn't cause any harm.
Yeah.
So when you want to go between both of them, you want to remember what your music is. Because we all have music inside of us. And really when you tap into what your music is when you allow that baseball to start unraveling.
Yeah.
It releasing your hand. You know, when you're angry, when you're shameful, when you're guilty, when you in fear, the fist is closed up.
Yeah.
And when the fist is closed up, your mind is closed. So sometimes you may want to take your physical hand and ball it up and make it as tight as you could possibly make it, and then slowly take deep breaths and allow it to loosen itself.
Yeah.
Without you trying to force it. Because a lot of times when we say just chill and relax, it really doesn't do the work. Sometimes you have to physically sit there and you have to allow that anger, that judgment, that shame, whatever that strong emotion, strong negative emotion, which is tied into the egoic fear, whatever that is, sometimes you just have to be with it.
Yeah.
And once you're with it and you allow yourself to ball your fists up and be present for that ball up, you want to start noticing when the grip lightens. And when it lightens, am I grabbing it back quickly?
Yeah. Because that's another thing, because you can slip, like your mind can drift off somewhere else, and then here goes your mind also. Nah, come back to that thought. Nah, come back to that. Nah.
And when can you laugh at yourself?
Yeah.
When can you like look
That's
at that
where
and be
it
like,
is.
yo, I
am ridiculous.
I was on a spiral. My spiral took me to the inner
Looney Tunes.
loony instead of my spiral making me big and happy and excited, and I'm able to touch my music.
Yeah.
Like doing these podcasts, we are in our music, right?
Yeah.
When are you in your music? When are you in your baseball? And when are you in your softball?
Yeah. Because I think even with that experience that I had, I think a part of the reason that I was able to just, where it felt like literally just 5 minutes, is because I was laying there, I'm thinking. Then I'm like, you know what? Because I've been in the process of writing, and I've been using writing more as a tool and more as just like for my own creative process too. And I just started writing, and it just released it. It's just like, it's like a cathartic release of something inside of me, where it's like I start writing it out, and then I see what I'm saying. I'm like, chill. I
done went real extreme on something really.
I went so far, like, oh, okay, chill, bring it back.
And where's the other person? Where's the other person while I'm in that whole experience? Because you're telling me this now, and my mind is going, well, what happened? What was the subject? I don't even remember what you're talking about. Because it was for you, it wasn't for me. And sometimes people give us gifts.
Yeah, and that was a huge gift to me, because it was something that I wouldn't have said that I was even overly sensitive about. You understand? Like to me, like, you know.
What kind of gifts are you receiving, and what are they wrapped in? Is it in hard, thick sandpaper, or is it in smooth sandpaper?
Yeah.
What kind of wrapping are you allowed to unpack? It's all just a gift, and it all comes from an invitation that you bring. So if you're having a shame attack, it is a gift.
Yeah.
Look for the gift in it. Like, don't be so quick to run from it, because when it come back again, you ain't gonna have no skills to unpack what that shame came to tell me. It's all just coming to tell us a story. So if I don't listen to it in my head, it's gonna hit my
show
body.
up in the
It's gonna show up in
interactions. Yeah, it's gonna show
my
up in my
money.
body. Yeah,
It's gonna
wow.
show up with a random person saying something to me, or a bird flying past, and
And
suddenly
now
I'm mad at a
pissed.
bird.
I'm mad at the bird.
Or I'm in a traffic jam and I'm mad at everybody who passing by, and I'm saying, "Oh,
Because
I
of her,
hate
I'm gonna
these
be late.
people. I hate." No,
Yeah.
that's all is a lived experience inside of you
Yeah,
that
and then
allow
you
you
get
to
into
get
this.
there.
People are so stupid.
Right.
People are. You feel stupid. You feel dumb. You feel small.
And so now you need to externalize that.
Yeah.
But what processes do you have that you can internalize and go in and sit with yourself and
Yeah.
expand from within? The whole beauty of life is when I can go in there and I can sit in and I can expand from
Yeah.
within myself. Then there's no external enemy. There's no devil. There's nobody waiting for me. They're not doing it to me. It's an experience I'm having with and for and through myself
Wow.
that I get to share with other people because I had this experience. I learned from this experience, and when the next moment comes, if a similar experience shows up, then I know how to navigate it because I learned from that experience.
Yeah.
Every moment is a new moment, though.
Yeah. Every moment is a new moment.
I feel like we traveled all over the place.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up with our question. Prayerfully, this has been a benefit to you.
Hopefully.
And always it's a benefit
It's
to us
us,
because
yeah.
we get to explore and share and
Oh.
share and give a little piece of real life.
Yeah.
Now we live in our real house, in our real home, in our real bodies. And if we need to become so polished that you don't recognize yourself within our stories, please call us out on it, because we like,
So let us know.
yeah, let us know, because our goal is to be present to allow you to express your own authenticity. We all
Yeah.
are having human experiences. We all have challenges. We all have real life things that are happening. Our bodies speak, our minds speak, our finances speak, our relationship speaks. We're triggered. It's a daily
Yeah.
process, but we have a lot of things in common. Our blood is flowing through our bodies. We all go to the bathroom. We
Yeah.
all need to have water in our body. Our blood pretty much is the same if you cut us. So
Yeah.
if you just go past this external appearance of who you think someone is, if you are a shamer, if you shame people, if you judge people, look inside yourself and see what mirror you need to clean inside yourself, that when you see them, you need to suddenly shame them or cause them to, or cause
Yeah,
yourself
correct
to
them.
feel bad. And if you're the type of person who always want to correct somebody, why don't you go give a moment to yourself to see, just sit with it.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to change anything, but just sit with it. Why do I need to correct that? And ask yourself, who am I hosting? Am I hosting fear, or am I hosting God? Am I hosting fear, or am I hosting love? Am I hosting fear, or am I hosting? Am I hosting the devil in terms that other people use, or am I hosting God? How do I know? What's the difference? Because if I'm always attacking, I'm more than likely hosting fear.
Yeah.
If I'm shaming, I'm more than likely hosting fear. If there's no good in you, every time you speak somebody's name, you always have something that they're this or they're that, and it's harsh and it's unkind in every way because they did something that triggered you. You should ask yourself, who am I hosting?
Yeah.
Am I hosting a fear of what I don't want them to be? Or am I hosting love?
Yeah.
You can't host both at the same time. What host are you being at that time, for yourself or to someone else?
Yeah. And I want to add too that one of the biggest opposites and one of the biggest ways to get out of shame, maybe even if you notice it slightly, is expression. Shame lives in the dark corners of your mind that maybe you are even too afraid to go to, and you don't want to sit with it, and you don't want to think what that must mean about you, maybe, or what internal definition that you've created. But you are always loved and you are always worthy, and when you're able to pull it out and bring it up and talk about it, and it doesn't have to be with anybody, it can be with yourself, and draw it out or write it out or
Laugh it out, dance it out, sing it out, hug a tree it out, ground yourself out, express it, but take it out of the darkness.
Take it out of the darkness, literally, because it's like essentially with the whole idea of shame, you are in a dark room and you keep tripping and you don't understand what's going on, but you keep tripping. So you moving like this and you moving like that, and expression and allowance and connection is how we let the light in, maybe slowly but surely. So then you can see a crack of the light come through, and it's like, oh wait, there's something on the floor. That's why I was tripping. There's something here that is unprocessed. There's something here that needs to be addressed. And then once I can pick that up and move that to the side. Oh, wow. Now it's not even the big struggle that it was. But as long as you keep it bottled up and held inside of you in a really dark, secret place, you can't even get to it. It's like, then you just hold it there. The light just don't turn on by itself. It doesn't figure itself out. In that sense of like, you just wake up one day and it's no longer there.
Mm-hmm. So feel free to drop us comments. If you want to hear more about shame or any topic, feel free to drop it in the comments. Let us know. We want to share what's relevant for you.
Yeah.
I mean, these things are relevant for us, but we want to be in tune with what's relevant for you. All right, y'all. These are our final questions. Wow.
What?
Okay, but this question is for you, so I'm excited, and maybe we'll switch it over. And this question is for our audience as well, so feel free to ask yourself this, whoever you're watching it with or whoever you're sharing it with. Do you think I intimidate others? Why or why not?
I think that you might intimidate others, but I don't think that you're intimidating. But I think that sometimes you hold a presence that's really big, and I think for somebody who maybe is feeling small or maybe less free with themselves, then it might be intimidating, not in the sense of that they would be afraid of you, but in the sense that it would kind of create some uncomfortability if a person is uncomfortable with themselves. But I think that's everybody, though. Can be intimidating in that way. But on the other hand, I think that you're very non-intimidating. I think you hold a very open presence that allows the intimidation to fall away, even if there's a perception that is present. I think it's usually cut very, very quickly and very, very early on, because it's like you just hold a presence that's pretty big.
What do you think, if you know me?
Yeah.
Do you think I intimidate others? If so, why? And if not, why? And do you intimidate others? If so, why? And if not, why not?
Yeah. And so my question for you is, what are you trying to answer most in your life right now?
I feel like you already asked. Wait a minute. I think once again we got a minute. Okay.
Oh, because that
was supposed to be to you. I was supposed to ask you.
I was supposed to answer. No.
I was supposed to.
No, you said, do you think I intimidate others? Why or why not?
Right.
You asked
But
me.
it was supposed to be directed towards you.
No. The question is, do you think I intimidate?
I know. But I'm supposed to direct my questions towards you. Anyway.
No. Or maybe you're right.
I don't know, but we answered that one.
Do you think I intimidate others? Why or why not?
So let me answer that for you. I think that you.
Yeah, let's just answer that question.
No, you can get the other one too. Maybe. I think that what do I think that you intimidate people?
Yeah.
Why and why not?
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that you intimidate other people. I think that each of us have a gift. And I think that your gifts may tap into something that another person don't have as a gift, that they desire as a gift. And so it create intimidation inside of them only because they lack it, which should tie us right back into shame. When I see something that I want that I don't have, I make that person into a pedestal, and I think that they're flawless, and I think whatever they have is 1, 2, 3. But those are just perceptions that you have made up about that person. So I don't think that you intimidate anyone, and I don't think that anybody's intimidated by me, even though I've heard a lot of people have conversations around being intimidated by me on one level or another.
Yeah.
But I've never taken that on to any kind of way because I'm just being me and I'm having my experiences. So.
Yeah.
Now, what was yours?
Okay, so it said, What question are you trying to answer most in your life right now?
What question I'm trying to answer most in my life? How can I give more of myself?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's not even the biggest question I'm answering right now. The biggest question I'm answering right now is how can I be more of the presence of love than I am of myself? Because myself is things that were created inside of me. So how can I actually be truly love?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
And if I asked you the same question, what question are you trying to answer most in your life right now?
I think the question that I'm trying to answer most in my life maybe maybe what's next. Yeah, because I'm like in a stage where I'm not entirely sure, and I don't know if I even have a desire to be sure on
Oh, that's a big to do in her world.
that's so big.
Yeah.
So yeah, just seeing
What's
what's next,
next?
and just honestly flowing with the waves of life as it comes to me,
And so
and
beautiful.
getting to know myself more, basically. Getting to know myself more.
So if you had to ask yourself, maybe we ask the audience.
Okay, so if you had to ask yourself, what question are you trying to answer most in your life right now? What would that be for you? And do you feel like other people are intimidated by you?
Are you intimidated
Are you
by
intimidated by
others?
other people? Yeah. That's another
Yeah.
big aspect of it. But yeah, you guys. That was episode 9.
And preferably you receive something out of this conversation on shame.
Yeah.
If it triggers something inside of you, of course, take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. And if you need us to help you process it, we're here.
Super here, overly here. And thank y'all.
Thank you.
This is a big conversation, man.
Yeah.
Shame.
It's a shame.
Shame, shame, shame.
Shame, shame, shame.
You know, people love saying